Good morning, guys. Happy coffee talk. I am sitting at my desk. It's like 7:20 in the morning, so I'm getting a little bit of a late start today. It's been a mixed week. Some early, some late. I'm drinking out of my jujitsu mug. I think I've used this mug 3 times since I got it on Monday. I love it. And yeah, drinking the Beck's coffee still. And I really like it. And in a few minutes, I have to take my kid to school because they canceled the bus. Like, what the heck? It's funny because ever since the kids have gone back to school post COVID, the bus driver situation is crazy. So they don't have enough bus drivers. And so if a bus driver calls in sick or they don't have a substitute, they just cancel the bus route, which is wild because how do these kids get to school if they don't have a parent who's home? I mean, I just happen to work from home, so I can take him to school, but I don't know what these kids do whose parents leave first thing in the morning and then they find out in the morning because that's when they tell you that the bus is canceled. So it's just kind of crazy. So after I record this, I am headed to take Logan to the bus, or to take Logan to school. No bus. And reminder, tomorrow is the last day to apply for the Fit Me Scholarship. So tomorrow at midnight, it closes. Tomorrow's Saturday, so I don't know when you're going to listen to this, but the scholarship application closes tomorrow. We are giving away one full scholarship, a $6,500 coaching package. We're going to pick one person, give them a full year of coaching, basically a year of transformation, full support, everything you could possibly need to make those lifestyle changes, to eat better, to move more, to work out, to change that mindset, to build the lifestyle, to get your people on board if they want to be on board. I mean, we're going to give you everything that you need. So you need to apply for the scholarship. We're giving away one full scholarship and a handful of partials. And so the deadline is tomorrow at midnight. So when you listen to this today, apply. Don't wait till tomorrow. You're going to forget. Saturday is busy. Saturday's a busy day. Excuse me. I thought I would talk about for coffee talk today. I sent an email out yesterday about the scale, and I got a couple email replies back, and I thought it'd be cool to answer some of the questions or just sort of explain more. So I wrote an email about the scale, and I said I don't really use the scale too much or focus on it in Fit Me because a lot of people have weight loss goals, but they also are sick of being fixated on a scale and the number. It's like becomes obsessive. It just becomes this negative thing where it can dictate your mood for the entire day. And so I wanted to share sort of where I was personally at with the scale, because in the past I can completely relate to that. When I was doing Weight Watchers, I used to manipulate the scale however I could, to make it go down and, not really have it go down, but just have it show up as down so you can get the points and you can get the credit and the blah, blah, blah. And then sometimes I would use the scale, get on the scale multiple times a day just to kind of see, and there was just times in my life where it was not helpful. And then now it's fine. I worked hard to get to that place where I can get on it and use it as just a data point, or it doesn't really impact me that much. But yesterday I shared that I was at the lowest body weight that I've been since I had Georgia. And so I was just acknowledging that and saying that the scale for me isn't about a specific number. I'll probably never be the number on the BMI chart or, what someone would say a 5'4" woman should be. But, for me, it's more about my legs and my knees, because when we, 1 pound of body weight translates into 4 pounds of pressure on your knee. So for me, removing some of the pressure from my knees is incredibly helpful. And I just like to feel good in my skin. But, in the range of feeling good in my skin, the lower body weight is actually helpful for my knee. And so I sent that in an email, and I got a couple replies back that people were saying different things. Some people say that they don't use the scale because, again, it dictates their mood for the entire day and they're tired of giving it that kind of power. Other people are like, I just don't understand the fluctuations, so I am getting off. And so I thought I would explain the fluctuations and kind of what happens in the scale, and how to know if you're gaining or losing weight. Because then the scale can maybe for you become a tool and not something that impacts your mood quite as much. So first off, the scale is going to fluctuate for people up and down a couple of pounds, and that is 100% normal. Now, it fluctuates more or less depending on you. I have had women whose scale fluctuates 5 to 7 pounds. I've had men who it doesn't fluctuate that much, but sometimes for men it does fluctuate more, and sometimes for women it does fluctuate less, but it really just depends on the person. Now, If you were to get on the scale every day for a week, every single morning you wake up, you go to the bathroom, you take off your clothes, you get on the scale. In a given week, it will go up and down for a variety of reasons. So if you are 200 pounds, it might go up to 202. It might go down to 199. The next day it might be 200.5, and then it's 201, and then it's 200.5, and then it's 199. Okay, so you have your whole week of scale weights. And you're like, the scale's going up and down. What the hell? Am I gaining weight? Am I losing weight? Whatever. So here's the answer. Number one, why is the scale fluctuating? A number of reasons. First off, hydration. If you drink a lot of water and you retain that water, the scale is going to go up. Water retention, right? We've heard that word. Water weighs something. If you're retaining water, it will show up on the scale. 2, digestion. If you ate a giant dinner last night, you might not have had a chance to digest it yet. It's still in your body. You potentially could have the scale be up just from eating food. And it's not body fat, it's just weight that's on you. Number 3, and again, we're talking about why the scale fluctuates in a given week. Number 3, why would the scale fluctuate? Muscle soreness. So if you are very sore from a workout, you will be retaining water in the muscle tissue. As the muscle repairs and rebuilds, you will likely be up a few pounds from soreness. Number 4 reason, hormones. Depending on the time of the month for women, your body will retain more or less water. The scale will go up or down. So those are some of the big reasons why the scale will fluctuate. Also, salt in your food. Again, we're talking about water more than anything, water manipulation. That can impact. So if you eat a big giant bowl of ramen last night, well, you might be up a couple pounds today, not because you put on body fat, but because, again, the ramen has a lot of salt in it, and now you're retaining water. A couple other things, if you had a shitty night's sleep, you're probably going to be up a couple pounds. And if you drank alcohol or had a bunch of sugar, it might actually impact your weight and you'll see it fluctuate. So those are all reasons why in any given week or 2 weeks, you might see a fluctuation in the scale. And that is completely normal. It doesn't mean you shouldn't eat. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't drink. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't exercise. None of those things are true, right? But they all do impact the scale. The scale goes up and down for a variety of reasons. So how do you know if you're losing weight or gaining weight? What you do is you take an average. So say you did that scale weight that I just talked about, and you took your weight every morning, same time, same thing every day, and you took your average and you're like, okay, my average this week was 201. That's my average. And then next week you take your weight every day. I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm just explaining how it works. So next week you take your weight every single day, and you take the average. Again, it's going to fluctuate up and down for all the reasons we just discussed that are completely normal. And you get on the scale next week and the average is 200.5. And you're like, okay, my average is a slightly less. You get on the scale every day the following week. You take the average and your average is now 199.5. So although you might have saw 202 that week, you're not 202. Your average now is 199.5. So if you look at what's happening over 3 weeks, you're actually losing a half a pound to a pound a week. You are losing weight. You would not know that if you just take one single day, because on one single day you might be 202 and you're like, oh, I'm failing. Everything's not working. No, that's not how you use the scale. It's not the right way to use that tool. The way to use the tool, again, is average and then look at the trend over time, because that's how you gain weight too, right? So you're going to get on the scale and like, oh, I'm in the ballpark that I normally am. I'm in the ballpark. And then one day that ballpark just goes up 1 pound. And then the next couple weeks, that ballpark just goes up 1 pound and up 1 pound. Before you know it, now you've gained weight, but it wasn't just overnight. You didn't just put on 7 pounds overnight. It's that slow trend of inside those fluctuations, that number started creeping up, that high number started going up each week. Well, that's gaining weight. It's exactly the opposite with losing weight. But what it's not is one single day that you get on the scale and you're like, oh no, what's happening? Or so the real way to use the scale, if you're going to use it at all, and you do not have to, I think there's other ways to measure progress. And certainly if the scale makes you eat worse or you just get pissed off and it ruins your day, then you're not ready to use the scale yet. I'm not saying you can't use that ever. I've coached plenty of women who felt that way in the beginning and then were able to start using it at some point as a tool, but it doesn't have to be for everybody. But if you are going to use that as a tool, then you need to do it the way I just described. You need to be taking your weight at the same time every day. You need to take an average of that weight and then compare that week over week, not a single data point. And if you use the trend and see that what you're doing is working, then losing weight is a pound to a pound or half a pound to a pound a week, maybe 2 pounds tops, it depending on where you're at, is typical. That's a weight loss trend that you can sustain, and that is not too aggressive. Anything beyond that is question mark. Like, you shouldn't be losing 5 pounds in a week consistently. That's too fast. That is not sustainable for your body. And again, the scale can be a good tool to alert you if that's the case. Now, there's your information on the scale. I don't know if that's helpful. I do have a recommendation on an app. I get nothing from telling you this, but there's an app called Happy Scale. And the reason I like Happy Scale is it does some of those trends for you. When you put in your weight, it's not necessarily like fixated on that one data point. It's giving you information about a trend. So I'm pretty sure Happy Scale is free, or like almost free. I don't know. But if you are somebody who would like to track your weight and you think that it would be helpful to have a tool that doesn't like fixate on the specific number, then try Happy Scale. I think it's really good. I like it because it's like, oh, your trend looks like this. And that's helpful, and can be encouraging. And if you have a day where the trend isn't in the right direction, and it doesn't like give you like red alert, remove all your food, which there are apps that do that, by the way. There are apps that as you put in your daily data points, it literally takes away your food, which makes no sense based off what I just told you, right? Because your weight could fluctuate for any of those reasons: hormones, food, salt, soreness, water retention, sleep, alcohol, sugar. Like, all of those reasons can have your weight fluctuate that have absolutely nothing to do with gaining fat. And so if you're using an app, or you have a friend who's using an app that takes away food based off of your daily weight, it's not working. That's not helpful. So anyways, today's coffee talk is super practical. If this is helpful for you, awesome. If not, if you're not a scale person, don't worry about it. But now at least you understand how it works. And if one of your friends or something starts telling you, oh my God, I got on the scale, I haven't been on in 6 weeks and I got on and it said this, like, you can say, cool, but that's just one data point you're going to need to get on for a week to actually find out how much you weigh. Because one data point is completely irrelevant. I have no idea if you're a couple pounds up, couple pounds down. I have no idea. Let me know if this was helpful for you. I want to make Coffee Talk a mixture of things that are sort of motivational and thought-provoking, or interesting and insightful, and very practical. Today is more on the practical end. I want you to understand how the scale works, how to use it for your own progress tracking, and I want you to be able to myth bust some of the things around the scale. And so if you're manipulating the scale with water and stuff, if it makes you feel better, great, but it's not actually doing anything, okay? Because what you will see in a trend over time is the product of the real changes that you're making. If you start walking, if you weren't walking at all, and now you're walking an hour a day, you're going to see a trend over time of the scale going down. If you used to eat out all the time and now you cut that out and now you're eating at home, much, much higher quality meals, you're going to see that trending down over time. If you used to drink 20 drinks a week and now you're at 4, you're going to see that scale trending down over time. And so now you can use it as a tool rather than something that pisses you off or ruins your day. So don't forget to apply for the scholarship. Again, I'll put the link in the bio, the link in all the places. It closes tomorrow at midnight. Do not miss this opportunity to apply. If you have any questions about it, reach out to me on Instagram or send me an email. I would be happy to answer your questions. But really the only question is, why you? Why this year? Why is it time to make some change? Fill that out. And then we will pick our winner and announce it on Monday. So thanks as always for plugging the Coffee Talk. If you haven't done so, subscribe to Fit Bean Coffee Talk on your favorite podcast platform. And if you're not a part of our Facebook group yet, come on over to Facebook and search Fit Me Community, request to join the group. I will add you there, and I look forward to seeing you be a part of it. We've got free games and challenges that happen in that Facebook group every single month. We're doing the reset. We've got one more week, so it's not too late to jump into the reset. And then next month, we've got something new and awesome planned for you. And so you want to be a part of it in that group. I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care. Bye.